Phillies win this one 3-2 over the Washington Nationals. Welcome into Post Game Live, presented by Curado Insurance. Ben Davis, Ricky Bowe, Ashlyn Sullivan here with you. The Phillies winning another series, a 5-1 homestand. We're going to get into Ranger Suarez here in a moment, who was so impressive on the mound today. But overall, Ben, win another series, always a good recipe for success.
Without a doubt, and you do it with your starting pitching. That's exactly what the Phils did today. Ranger Suarez, tip my cap to you. You were absolutely awesome today. The offense got enough done. Marchand was great offensively, and obviously what he did, putting his fingers down. Well, they don't put fingers down anymore. They type it out and you listen to it in your hat. But that's besides the point. Just a great job by the battery today. The battery won the game for this ball club, and you love to see that happen. Nice to see Marchand contribute offensively. The guy just flat out never plays, and your heart goes out to him because JT plays pretty much every day. But to have the wherewithal to go out there and compete in the fashion he does shows you that he prepares in between his starts. And again, they're few and far between, but he goes out and catches bullpens. He throws the bases twice a week, takes extra batting practice. It came through today for the Phils and their backup catcher.
Ricky, what was your impressions of this series?
Of the series, let me put it this way. You came out, you won 2 out of 3. That is the bottom line. That's what you want to do. And they've had some unsung heroes. I've been talking about the bottom of the order. You saw it again today. Marchand with a huge hit in this game, a 2 RBI double, and that was the difference in the ball game. Ranger Suarez was spectacular. And I don't know how to explain this, but what I watched from Ranger was a lot different than the Ranger I saw in his last start. You saw a lot more changeups in his last start. You saw a lot more deception pitches. What I saw today is a guy that had some confidence in his sinker, had some confidence in his four-seamer, and that tells me that he felt very good location-wise.
Right.
16 out of 24 first-pitch strikes. That's part of the battle. But being able to paint a 1-2, 2-2 pitch on the inside corner to somebody, it's a whole different beast. But he only threw 8 changeups today. That, to me, is incredible, that he was able to completely change the way he attacked these hitters. And I'll tell you right now, they looked a little bit confused.
They absolutely did. And that leads us to our Eye on the Mound, presented by PGW, energy for all of us. It's Ranger Suarez recapping his afternoon, but really recapping his last couple of starts. You talk about how different he is. 10 Ks against Seattle, then he has 11 Ks, a career high here today, Ben. Just a different guy lately.
He was outstanding. 90 pitches, 63 of which were strikes. This guy had 16 swings and misses on 90 pitches. Just remarkable. And he did share the wealth. As Ricky said, 27% sinkers, 20% curveball, 17% cutter, 14% slider, 13% four seam. He had a mixed bag today, but he was equal opportunity user today, and that was fun to watch. And the lefties, these guys had no idea it was coming out of his hand. And from an offensive standpoint, I tell you, as a hitter, it is so stinking frustrating knowing that you can never sit on a pitch. He was able to throw his breaking ball behind in counts, the even counts back up. He was able to throw the get me over and one that he would bury as well. But his control with that fastball today was on point, and I think that just really set up his other pitches.
You know, I'm going to go as far as this. I just think they went into this with a completely different game plan. And when you watch these swings from these Nationals hitters, a lot of weak swings, a lot of like excuse me type swings. They didn't have a chance to actually attack Ranger. I mean, to get 3 hits off them, I think they may have been a little bit lucky just to do that in this game, because Ranger completely flip-flopped on what he would normally do out there. And I think in their minds, that's exactly what they were seeing, because you saw a guy like James Wood, who's a pretty good player, look pretty silly against Ranger Suarez today. And I mean, when you could do that to any Major League Baseball team, I think that's pretty impressive.
Very defensive swings today by the Nats. Even when they were into some of the better hitters counts, which there weren't a whole lot of, they were still defensive swings, almost like they had 2 strikes on them. They're just trying to fight off another pitch just to see another pitch. And they were just, I mean, look at all the caught looking today. He just was baffling them, and they just had no idea what was coming. No. They had no clue.
They really didn't. So you see Ranger Suarez does his job, then Jose Alvarado comes in for relief in the 8th inning, and that's where things get a little dicey. Ranger Suarez, he did his part, but this got a little bit nerve-wracking here, Ricky.
Yeah, it's a little bothersome, because in this series, I mean, you don't want to be like a damper on the series. You did take 2 out of 3. But we've seen Kerkering give up runs. We've seen Strahm struggle a little bit. We've seen Alvarado in this one just be all over the joint. And I understand he just got back, but he's had a quote-unquote rehab assignment before he came back off of his suspension. He just didn't look as sharp. He was throwing hard. I mean, we saw 100, we saw a bunch of 99, 98, but his location was awful in this game. But here's Mr. Consistent right here. Tanner Banks comes in and flat out just gets the job done. He's going to get himself a double play right here. A little two-hopper to Stott, over to Turner, boom, boom, boom. Now you got 2 outs. You could breathe at least a little bit in this ball game, and he goes on to finish out this inning. And, I mean, to me, that's what it's all about, coming in and picking up your own teammates. There's no better feeling for a reliever. Tanner Banks has been really, really good this year, and nobody gives him any credit for anything.
Unsung hero.
Yeah.
He has been an unsung hero, and they would gladly trade that double play for a run there. But what did you see out of Alvarado? Just overthrowing today? That's what I saw.
You know what? In my honest opinion, I think he's trying to be in the form when he left. And you have to take steps to get there. I don't think he's anywhere near that right now. Normally, you look at him, it's a lot of downhill playing. You're seeing a lot of uphill throwing right now. That's just a matter of time. I think that's going to be it. But the problem is he's almost forced to try to get himself into pre-suspension shape, like right now, because you're running out of appearances for him. Right. You only have 32 games left. I mean, you're talking about, what, 8 appearances, 9 appearances right now? If it takes him 3 or 4 more appearances to get there, you're not really getting much out of him.
Yeah, limited availability, that's for sure. And you saw Ranger Suarez, how successful he was today, and that certainly helped because of the Phillies' lead in the second inning. While there weren't a ton of runs, a ton of production at the plate, this helps when you get a little bit of cushion here, Ben.
Yeah, you know, we're questioning Rob Thompson before the game. Why isn't Max Kepler playing? He's got great numbers against Irvin. Why isn't he playing? He's got a couple homers, hitting 286. Well, Nick Castellanos goes out his first 2 times up, and blisters two hits for Castellanos. We're saying, why is Bader in there? Well, he was 5 for 6 going into this game. Now 6 for 7 career against Jake Irvin, and the Phils got something going here in the second inning.
And you know what? This whole homestand, if you look when Nick Castellanos has played, he's been a fire starter in this series. He's been a guy that's let off a lot in this series. That's just how it kind of figured itself out. But he's getting on base, and he's running the bases well, and he's scoring some runs in this series. And then this at-bat right here gets a lot of nothing out over the middle of the plate, Ben, and rips it into right center field. 1-0-93 right down Broadway. Rafael Marchand is not going to miss that. Any big league hitter is not going to miss that pitch. You got a good hitter's count, and you just come right in with it. Irvin knows it, and then Bryson Stott is off the races. 2-0 good guys early on in this ballgame. Little misplay there by Cruz. He probably should have taken a different angle at that ball to start with. Instead, he took the direct angle thinking that he's going to have a shot to catch it, which there was no chance. Ends up going all the way to the wall.
Yes.
But you need production from everybody, and this is another guy, just another guy stepping up. We talk about the absence of Zach Wheeler for the remainder of the year. Well, you have another guy in Marchand stepping up today, and obviously all 3 RBIs go to Marchand, and just a phenomenal job.
Bottom 3 in the lineup again today. 2 hits, 2 walks, so they were on base. They were turning the lineup over. That's what you look for.
Yes, everyone doing their job, that's for sure, as the Phillies do win this one 3-2 over the Washington Nationals, as we now go across the street to Citizens Bank Park to hear from manager Rob Thompson.
It seems to have recaptured that swing and miss stuff in his last 2 starts. What do you think has allowed him to do that?
I think the velocity jumped up a little bit, but so has the command, and that's really the thing for him. When he can get the ball to his glove side, he's really effective. Everything else plays off of that, and that's what he's doing right now.
Was it mechanics, Rob, do you think? Was it the soreness that we had talked about a month ago?
I think it was probably just a little bit of normal fatigue that every starter goes through. Well, every pitcher goes through over the course of the year, and looks like he's recovered.
How big was that 8th inning for Tanner Banks?
Huge. You know, Albie didn't have it today. We were trying to get through the game without using Banks, but we had to do it to win the ball game, and he did it. He did a heck of a job.
How big has he been this season in general?
Incredible. You know. Throw more strikes, the slider's better, a lot of confidence. Yeah, he's been huge for us.
Lefties have like a 400 OPS against Banks this year. What makes him such a tough look against lefties?
Who's that?
Banks has a 400 OPS against lefties this year. Like, what makes him such a tough look against lefties?
I think it's a little bit about the arm angle. It's a little bit about being able to command the ball away to those guys and get them to get that front hip leaking and he gets some swing and miss. So, like I said, he's been a godsend for us.
You said about certain other guys in the past, you like them in the dirty inning, coming in with guys on base. How much does his skill set match up with that sort of situation?
Yeah, he really does. He's done a really good job of that this year. And I don't think right now, as much confidence as he has, I don't think he's really afraid of anything. I think he just feels like whatever the situation is, I'm going to get people out.
Got a 7-game lead over the Mets going to New York. How big are these next 3 games against them now with them right there?
They're all big. I mean, every game's big from here on out. And Mets have a good club. These guys played us tough, and they've been playing good baseball. But the Mets have a good club, too, and we got to go in and pay attention to every detail and play hard.
You're going from a half game back to 7 up in 3 weeks. Is that kind of a sign of how quick things can change, especially this
No doubt. No doubt. And it can go the other way, too. So we got to pay attention.
What does Marchand do between starts that keeps him ready to go and on both behind the plate and when he's hitting?
Yeah, he does a lot of cage work for his offense, and so it's tough for him. He's a switch hitter, so he's got to do extra work. He has to work from both sides. Does a lot of work with the catching coaches, and he studies a lot. He was in his locker yesterday when he wasn't catching and working a game plan for yesterday's game, even though he wasn't catching. So that's how kind of tuned in he is. I think part of it is just natural, and part of it is the fact that JT's kind of groomed him a little bit, and so it's really good. Big day today. It's all 3 of our RBIs. A couple of key blocks behind the plate. People don't like to run on him because they know he can throw. He's really, and for the fact that he doesn't play every day, every 4 or 5 days, as a young kid, that's a tough thing to do, and he's doing a great job at it.
Were Strom and Duran unavailable today?
Yes.
Phillies win this one 3-2 over the Washington Nationals. Stay with us here post-game live, presented by Curado Insurance. Heading into the clubhouse to hear from Ranger Suarez. Coming up.